Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rainy Nights, this segment of my YouTube channel where I interview other motovloggers and motorcycle personalities. If you haven't been here before, I'm Rainy Rider. I ride a 2019 BMW Grand America and a 2021 Harley Sportster. Feel free to give the channel a like and a subscribe. Tonight we have Indian Biker Chick, aka Miranda. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is. I ride a one Indian, and I have a Honda Sabre 11.
All right, back up just a little bit. I think we're starting to lose our sound a little bit. Sorry, everybody out there. We had some technical difficulties trying to get the stream going, but we're good now. Should be, hopefully. So we'll see if we can just keep this going. All right, so where are you from and what do you ride?
I am from Green City, and I ride a 21.
A 2021. Back up just a little bit. I think the sound is, we're either catching wind or we're catching a little bit too close.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, try again.
2021 Indian Chieftain.
Indian Chieftain. All right. So how long have you been riding?
Since 20.
All right. So you're down in Grenada. We're in.
My third year.
All right. We're in Mississippi. So would you consider yourself a fair weather rider or a rough rider?
Kind of in between.
So I know when I went down to see you, I know it was pouring rain, but you also had company with you. We were actually planning to get together and ride motorcycles, but that just kind of didn't happen. So
Right. I don't typically leave my house in the pouring down rain, but if it's raining, I'm riding. I'm okay riding.
okay. So how did you get into motorcycles?
I guess it started with dirt bikes. The ex-husband rode, and I rode with him a little bit, and things went south with him. We went our separate ways, and I just got my own bike and started riding.
Right on. So today, who inspires you to ride? Who inspires you to get out and ride your motorcycle?
I don't know that anybody did. I love to ride, whether I'm by myself or with a group.
Right on. All right. So would you rather ride a solo ride or would you rather ride with a group?
I like riding with people.
Okay. So big groups or small groups?
Mostly small, but either's fine.
Okay. So do you do a lot of moto meetups?
Not as many as I would like.
Which one would you like to go to?
I really want to go to Tennessee, to the music one.
The TMMR?
Yes.
We actually have a group.
Lone Star.
Do what?
And Lone Star in Galveston.
And the Lone Star one. Yeah, there's lots of them down in Texas. We actually have a group going out to the TMMR next month. I can say next month. It's April now. So we got a group of I think so far we got like 10 people going there. Anybody in the chat can chime in and tell us who all is going. So you have gone out though and met people and went riding. What's your favorite place you have ridden to meet people?
Ooh. Probably Panama City.
That would be my favorite too. Haven't gone, but I'm sure if I ever went, that'd probably be my favorite one.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna make it down to Daytona one day.
Yeah, there's lots. Once I started getting out and going, all of a sudden there's places you didn't know about that have meetups all over the place. I mean, before you start riding, when you first get into it, you hear about Daytona, you hear about Laconia, you hear about Sturgis. Once you get into it and you start meeting people, you find out that there's almost one every weekend. If the sun is up, there's somebody's meeting on a motorcycle, and then you learn about motorcycle bike nights and in different places that are having bike nights. So it just kind of turns into a just everywhere. There's just bike meetups everywhere.
Yeah, I'm slowly learning the new places.
So moving into the hotline of questions, if anybody got any questions for us, just throw them down in the comments. Make sure you put my name in the beginning where it'll light up in orange or yellow, and I will get those questions. Miranda was going to have some people here with her. Apparently there was an accident. So all her friends had to leave. So she might not have as many people on here as she thought she did. But what happened out there?
Well, we were just kind of being silly, and the table flipped on us.
That happens.
One of my yeah, Angela's head at the ER with it dislocated. I just ripped the hide off my hand. I tried to grab the thing. So I hope
Yeah.
I can clutch my bike on the way home.
I hope you can too. How far out are you?
Probably 15 miles.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're right. You live in some good riding country too, so it might make it worth it. You can go slow and slow.
Yeah, it won't be bad.
So what? I mean, obviously, besides flipping a table, what's the stupidest thing you've ever done on a motorcycle?
Ooh. I don't know that I have an answer for that.
You know what? You can plead the fifth if you want to. That's fine. So now, how about the scariest moment you've ever had on a bike?
Probably just cars pulling over on me. I don't know. I tried to be a badass one day pulling out. I wasn't thinking and went swerving down the road. I thought I'd lost it.
It happens to all of us. So, what has been your favorite part of riding?
Just the peacefulness.
All right. How about
It's
flip side of that?
like you don't ride, nobody understands.
Yeah. So, what has been your most frustrating part of riding?
Mm. I don't think I've had to encounter anything that I could answer that with.
All right. Let's see who's in the
I will
crowd.
say I took a trip and met up with some people, and then I ended up a day behind because their bike broke down. So that was a little frustrating. I missed a whole day of a rally because of it. But
Yeah,
it happens.
that's the kind of things that happen when you have a meetup. I mean, you really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I guess in the end, it's kind of worth it to be with your friends. And sometimes you're going to miss things. I mean, it's every time we've gone to Florida, something has happened where somebody was running late or somebody was behind. That's just the kind of things that happen when you do these rides with your friends. You just kind of have to count on somebody's going to have a problem and just either be a wreck or they get behind or they can't find you know lodging. There's something happens with their
Yeah.
motorcycle. So yeah, something always happens.
Right.
But you're with your friends, so I guess that makes it worth it, right?
That's right.
All right, let's see who we got in the comments tonight. We have Aaron, nothing at random. We've got Seventh Sentinel. Casey's in. My opinion, of course, is here. Justin, Loose Juice is in tonight. Let's see. Journey of Jerry came. Hey, Jerry, you made this one. And I think that's. And Sky's Limits here, Anthony. Anthony. And Gliding on Twos just came in. So, how you doing, guys? So, yeah, we're. Nuri makes every once in a while of mine. So, I like when he shows up. He does some good riding himself. So, what are your plans for the new year? You got any rides planned? You got any destinations?
The only thing I have planned is we're going to ride down to the Pensacola area for a couple days, and then we're going to try to get to Sturgis, Kentucky. But that's the only thing that I have definite plans.
Right on. Yeah, I keep hearing good things about Little Sturgis. I've made a Honda Hoot out there. Actually, it was I think it was like right outside of Sturgis, Kentucky. It was somewhere else, and then there was one in Ohio I didn't get to go. But yeah, those are always fun because it's good riding back there. It's not big Sturgis. It's hot. It's dusty. The weather is always really crazy. But Little Sturgis, it's nice and cool. It's back roads. It's cool hills. So it's actually not as bad. You would think it'd be worse because it'd be 'cause it's Kentucky. It's the South, but it's actually better weather, I think.
Oh, wow. Is the humidity as bad as it is down south or down here where we are?
Oh no, it's pretty nice up there. You're in the hills up there, so it's not too bad.
I got you.
So what bike? So you started on a Honda on a Shadow, right?
I started on a Nighthawk.
On the
But I
Nighthawk,
still have,
and then you moved to
a Honda 1100 Sabre.
The Sabre. And now you have the Indian.
Now I
So
have the
if
Indian.
someone were to ask you, okay, I just finished my MSF, I've done 6 months on a 250, I'm ready to move to a bigger bike that I'm going to have for a long time, that it's easy to maintain, what would you tell them to get?
I guess it depends on what brand they like. Everybody has their preference, but I wouldn't go any higher than maybe a 1300 cc. I was actually looking for a 750 when I moved up from my 250, but I the 1100 was such a good deal that that's the route I went.
Yeah, and the Sabre has a really smooth power band too. It's not going to get too crazy on you unless you totally twist the throttle, and it's very easy to maintain. I had a Sabre myself. I had a '04 Sabre.
Oh
I love
wow!
them. Robin the Lady Biker showed up. Hello, how are you? I'm actually still trying to get her on the show. I will. She's supposed to be in Texas, I believe, end of this month, I think maybe. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get her when she's not in Australia and get her on here.
Oh wow! Yeah, that'd be cool.
So she's actually a Texan, but she lives in Australia. You figure that
Oh
one out.
wow!
So if you could start out anywhere in the world and ride your motorcycle and take a trip, where would you go?
Probably across to California. Stay in the South.
Stay in the South, right across 10, hit all the way. What's funny is
I
I
don't
was
know. I'd probably hit Route 66.
66. Yeah, there's some good riding up that way. I actually was stationed in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and 66 goes through there, Route 66. And it's I always thought Route 66 would be really nice weather and really cool, but yeah, that part of Oklahoma, you got a 60-mile-an-hour wind 1 minute, and then it heats up to 80 degrees the next minute, and then the wind blows again and it cools it down to 20. But yeah,
Oh
they
wow!
say it's beautiful riding in the spring. The spring's when you want to go through Route 66. But
Oh okay.
yeah, I always thought Highway 10 was in the south. It'd be hot all the way across. And I just saw, like a lot of people did, they saw Shade Tree ride all the way across 10, and it was 80 when he left, and it was got down to like 30, through parts of New Mexico and Oklahoma and Texas, and then heated back up when he got to California. So, yes, the weather's a lot more volatile on 10 than I thought it would be.
Oh wow! Wow.
Yeah, so those of you who were here early, sorry for all the technical difficulties. One of my computers, again, has decided it's going to update and didn't tell me, so I couldn't get it to open, so I had to switch to. That's why the lighting's a little weird. I didn't have time to get the lighting right for this camera, but we're here. We're here. Good now. So Robin the Lady Biker says she's made the ride from California to Texas. Reach out to her, and she will give you her insights on making that trip and some good places to hit. Motor Mortician's in, Mark, our favorite guy, the guy that won the Humvee at the Shade Trees raffle, or at the Forgotten Angels raffle, actually. So it's good to have all these people popping in.
Yeah.
So let's see what we got next. So have you inspired anyone to ride or rent on their own bikes? I know you said your son. You're going to try to get your son into riding motorcycles?
Yeah, he was supposed to come pick up that Honda today, so he's riding a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully, now that he's fair weather, just learning. But hopefully, this summer he'll get out with me and ride more.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. New riders, they need to stretch their legs slowly.
Yeah.
They don't need to go straight into doing full splits. Nothing wrong with that. So what bike is he gonna get? Has he planned one yet, or he's gonna inherit yours, or
Yeah.
just get another one?
Well, now he'll ride it. He's not 100% sure that he loves this. So if he decides he wants something else, but right now he'll ride it. It needs to be ridden.
Yeah, I'm looking for a project bike, and I do like the Sabre platform. Maybe maybe we'll talk.
I don't know.
So now, what's one thing most people do not know about you?
Ooh.
Mark just popped in, so he's got to pop out now. So it's good, Mark. Good having you on. Glad you came by. Just for a small minute.
I don't.
You like Italian food, I know that.
That. You stumped me on that.
All right. So if you could tell a new rider one thing that you had to learn the hard way, what would it be?
Um, curves, the counter steering.
I think counter steering is probably one of the things that people misunderstand most. Um, and it's something you definitely have to practice to get good at. And it's not because it's people always say, well, counter steering, in an emergency situation, you can throw yourself into it. If you're waiting to use counter steering until you need it for an emergency, you're not gonna live through that one. You might live through it, but
Wow.
it won't be pleasurable. So definitely practice your counter steering.
Yeah, uh, curves make me very nervous. So yeah, I go real slow, but the counter steering has helped tremendously.
Yeah, it makes a much more comfortable trip. And
Yes.
when you need it, it's fantastic. If anybody got any questions, throw them down in the comments. So again, we're talking with Miranda. She is. I was trying to think of your new Indian Purple Rider, and I was like, that's not Indian Purple Rider. Your new your it's your
I
TikTok
got
and
my, yeah. My tag actually says road
Indian
rage on
biker chick.
the road all the
The
time.
TikTok
Yeah,
the TikTok thing. I was trying to think of it and I could not. I had a brain fart.
it's okay. You
So do
pull
you,
through.
you so what do you do on your TikTok?
Just riding stuff. That's too much.
You ever thought about going to YouTube, sharing a little bit?
No.
TikTok for me is so hard to wade through, and I looked at it for a while, and again, it's like you've got so many people doing TikTok and so many weird things showing up. I think YouTube is a little more selective. You can kind of select what you put on there and select what you see
Yeah.
on when you're looking watching TikTok. Just random weird stuff shows up. Just I mean, kind of like Instagram Reels. It kind of got to be the same way. So I stopped looking at Instagram Reels and just started kind of picking my own people that I can watch.
Oh, I don't fool with Instagram. I don't know how to maneuver around that.
So Aaron wants to know. So we've talked about this. You going down to Tampa? Do you plan on attending a Forgotten Angels camp out?
I haven't given it any thought. I mean,
It's a
there's
lot
no
of
reason why
fun.
it's written.
You can actually drive down there, and a lot of people do trailer down. They drive down or rent bikes when they get there, or dumb people like me ride through storms and hurricanes and frozen tundra to get there. So I mean, any way you get there, once you get there, it's the same camp out.
I got you.
So don't
Now
yeah
I'll
don't
drive
think
it.
you got to drive ride the whole way down. You can actually truck down and camp out while you're there, or get a lot of people get bed and breakfast, or what do you call those things? Airbnbs while they're there.
Airbnb.
So yeah, any way you want to show up, you're welcome to come. So I don't think you've
All
got to
right.
ride in and sleep in a tent while you're there. Although I think probably that's probably the funnest way, even though it's probably the most miserable way. But I mean, once you do it, you've accomplished something. But don't feel pressured.
The furthest I've ridden is Maggie Valley and Panama City.
Yeah, that was Nuri's question. What's been your longest single day ride?
Both of those places.
And how was it when you got there?
Panama City was fine. I wasn't tired. It was great. Maggie Valley, I can't say anything. I mean, oof, it was bad. Mountains is not my favorite place to be on a motorcycle at this moment.
Yeah, I don't mind mountains. I don't like cliffs. Cliffs
Maybe,
suck.
well, that could have been it. Yeah.
Yeah, mountain roads are kind
I'm
of cool,
already
especially.
on curves, and then I'm looking down. I'm dead if I go off. Yeah. I didn't know
Aaron
anxiety existed till I went on that trip.
Aaron says you're one of us now. You have to come. No choice. You've been on the live
Well,
stream. You're one of us.
is it just the one time a year?
It's twice a year. We have it in October and again in March. So it's
Okay.
I think it's the last weekend of October, and then it's the second or third weekend of March. It kind of bounces around, but pretty much St. Patrick's Day weekend and Halloween weekend pretty much is when it is. So
Okay.
Jerry says he's bringing down 3 or 4 bikes in October. You can ride one of the Groms.
Hey, that would be cool.
Groms are cool. No, when I say
I'll get in my
Grom,
car and come.
So Jerry's Grom is probably he's got probably more into that than most people have in their big motorcycles. So yeah, it's when he says ride my
Very
Grom,
fun.
it's a rocket. I mean, it's not it's not your average Grom. It's something special. All right, next question would be. I think we lost it. Yep. So we have a little tent area. Pig and a Sam. If you bring a tent, you can come down tent next to us. We have our little commune set up out there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Robin Lady Biker says she loves mountains and cliffs, and I did until I went to Eureka Springs. And when I went to Eureka Springs, that's when I decided there's some cliffs I don't need to be on. There was four back-to-back 10-mile-an-hour hairpin curves on one part, where there was no guardrail, and I could literally look down this on the shoulder. There was no white line on the shoulder. I could see straight down into the valley from like my right foot, and that's when I decided there's more to this than I really want. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's four ways to get to Eureka Springs, and I took the probably the stupidest way to get there because it looked like the shortest way, and it was actually the longest because you're only going 10 to 20 miles an hour, pretty much half the way.
So I rode the Hondas. I was okay on it. We went from Rogers up to Eureka.
Yeah, yeah, that
But I
side's
took
pretty
the
cool.
Mickey into Maggie Valley, the whole breakdown. I think it's a bigger bike, fairing. I hadn't ridden it a whole lot because it was winter months, so the riding was limited. So it was still a new bike, and yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, if you ride to the west side of the cliff and go up, it's not too bad. But I was on the east side, and I went through. I think they call it the tea kettle or the teacup, and it's the road was so, and I didn't realize at the time until I tried to stop. And the road was so sloped that I couldn't get the kickstand down on my left side because the road was actually sloped like this. So we'd actually
Oh
stopped
wow!
at the overlook, and I couldn't even get the kickstand down because the bike was leaning so far back into the curb.
Oof.
So it was crazy. All right, make sure you throw some questions down there. So, if you could go out and buy a bike right now, but you had to own it for the rest of your life, what would it be?
An Indian chieftain white orange.
Back to an Indian Chief. They're that good, huh?
I don't know if they're that good. I just love it. The center of gravity is low. It feels light.
Yeah, a lot to be said for a bike that you're just comfortable on.
Yeah, yeah. As right now, I have stuff that could change. I mean, I'm still new to learning bikes. But
Right on. So, what bike would you ride just once, knowing you could never afford it or ride it again? And we're talking about those top of the line bikes that are either so expensive or so high in performance that it may not be in your best interest to get on twice. But if you rode
probably
it
a crotch,
once, could never get on it again, what would it be?
probably a crotch rocket.
Cross rocket, what kind?
I don't. I don't
Any?
have a specific kind. I can't say.
All right.
I
So
have
what
to
is
speed.
so Kawasaki, Honda, Yamaha, big
I'd
bike.
probably go. I'm a Honda fan.
Right on. Speaking of that, I think I would always like to have rode a RC51, and I know the civilian version isn't that good, but the old Nicky Hayden version of the RC51 that he rode for MotoGP, I think I would like to give one of those a spin. Absolutely. Carl Barnett just came in. Carl Barrett just came in. Creep. I think he's asking, have you ever ridden to Suches, Georgia? Suches? I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
I have not.
All right. What is one thing you will never get on a bike without?
Mm.
Could be gloves, boots, helmet, jacket, eye protection.
Probably eye protection because I've ridden in shorts, tank tops, shorts, no helmet, but I always got glasses on.
Uh, Jerry says his would be the Dodge Tomahawk. I actually saw an article. I think the writer, I think his name was Tom Brown. I think or Charles Brown. Charlie Brown, that's funny. Anyway, can't be Charlie Brown. Either way. So yeah, he said he wrote it in a warehouse, and to turn the thing around, even inside the warehouse, he had to do a 3-point turn to get it to turn around because there's hardly no turning radius on it. And it's basically a motorcycle built around the Dodge, what is it? The Viper. It's built around the Viper engine.
Oh, crap. Which bike is that?
It's the Dodge Tomahawk.
Dodge Tomahawk.
It's it's not even really a motorcycle. It's literally just an engine with a wheel in the front and a wheel in the back. It's
wow.
I'm not even sure you could call it a motorcycle. But all right, so what is your toxic trait?
My toxic trait. Speed.
Speed.
Yeah.
So where's your favorite place to go that you just like, I think I'm gonna ride, you're gonna call a friend and tell them to meet you there and you just go. Where would you go?
Probably Ratliff Ferry. Very laid back. It's on the water. You can have a drink, eat, socialize. Just because I'm still learning the different places.
Right on.
But it's only about an hour and a half. So it's a nice little ride back.
Right on. So we got any more questions in the audience? We kind of sped through these. All right. So do you think you might make the October camp out in Tampa?
I'm going to look into it so I can camp for free.
You can't for free?
It all depends.
You literally can just show up. All you have to do is show up. I mean, there's literally somebody's going to, as soon as you get there, somebody's going to offer you a beer. There's water there. There's showers there. There's toilets. There's food always there. Now, I like to, when I get there, pick up 2 big gallon jugs of water, pick up a case of beer. Every day that I'm there, I'll get a case of beer and bring it in for everybody to share. So there's lots of sharing going on. But for your first camp out, if you don't, I mean, there's people there that don't have the funds to do anything but just to get there. And when they get there, we take care of them. And it's a big family there. So we know some people, that's all they can do just to show up. And that is fine. And then there's other people that live close, and can offer up, food, water, free beer, whiskey.
Right.
Just do what you can do. But basically, yes, if you just show up, we'll take care of you. There's nothing you need to bring. There are a lot of people I know that don't even shower there. So, I mean, basically, now they've just put up 2 hose showers. You go out there and you can hose yourself off and,
Cool.
So, yeah. It's
remind me about this.
This last one was not, the hose shower was not a good idea most of the time because it was cold some of the nights we were there. But I know some people were, sleeping in the back of their trucks. Some people had tents. Some people we would go and we're staying in an off-site, bed and breakfast. But I mean, just show up, and that's all you need to do.
Cool.
A lot of people actually slept in the Yingling hut. We have a little lounge that's like a kitchen type of, almost like an out. What do they call them? Not outhouses. What do they call them? It's just a little shed outside with screen all the way around it, and it's big. It's not small. It's got couches in it. It's got chairs. It's got tables. It's got a little kitchenette in it. It's got bars and coolers, and a lot of people just stayed in there and slept on the couches and on the chairs. So, just show up.
Wow.
Show up. We'll take care of you.
Well, don't let me forget. I can do that.
Rowdy says make sure you're ready for hugs when you get there because there's literally a hug a minute when you're there.
I love hugs.
Your hugging muscles will be tired by the time you leave. And Jerry says there's a free Grom to ride.
Okay, I'm going to hold him to that.
All right. Yes, it's definitely, yeah. And Nuri says it's definitely a fun event and it's all for charity. And it'll change your life being there. And I promise that. I don't say that lightly. When you show up, it's like you have an epiphany of life. And everything you thought about life changes. It makes you a better person just to be there. And we're kind of rowdy when we're there. Don't get me wrong. But it's such a good place and it's for such a good event. It's a good charity. Everybody's there for the same reason, to help people and have a good time.
Right.
So it's unlike any bike thing you will ever go to. And all you need to do is show up. No pressure.
I can probably make it happen.
All right. Yeah, Jerry says just shower in the night. There's no line to the showers then. And I've done that a couple
At
of
night.
times. Go at
Try to
night
get a better
after.
shower at night.
Well, I always plan on when I get there, like, so, of course, my wife, she's like, she likes to go to bed like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put her to bed, put the lights out where I can find the tent, and I'll be there shortly. And like at least 5 or 6 times, I try to get back to the tent, and somebody will catch me, and we'll go back to the common areas. We'll go back to the stage. Then we'll go back out. We'll sing a little bit. We'll pop some more beers. I'll go back, try to get back to my tent, and then I'll find somebody else. We go back. So I mean, it's a good time the whole time. But yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool.
Plan on not sleeping much. Plan on having a good time. Plan on being dirty a whole lot of the time because it is out in a field. You get trees over you, so it's not like you're out in the middle of an open field with sun on you all the time. But it's fun. It's fun.
Right.
Leave your makeup at home. Nobody needs it.
I don't wear it half the time.
Yeah, but it was cool. Yes, it was cool that last time. But yeah, we went and bought blankets at Walmart. Literally everything you need is there's a Walmart. Not even, I'd say, 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
So we're literally out in the middle of a field. You come off that back road and you're in the middle of a town. So we went out to restaurants there. We ate. We went to a little bar there that also had all the really good food. It was called Raccoons, and then there was Walmart right behind Raccoons. And anything you need is there. So don't worry about packing everything you need. Just come.
Okay.
Have stuff for the trip. And there's always spare tents. Somebody always has spare tents and always has chairs, and it's fine. You'll be there. It was a good time.
I have a 10. I wanted to here. I have to go by myself. But
See if your son will come. Put him on some of the motorcycles out there. I promise you, you will ride more motorcycles that weekend, other people's motorcycles, than you would if you went to a dealer and was trying to buy one. I promise you that.
really,
Yes.
that's weird.
Everyone will let you ride their motorcycles. Just about everybody. And you will ride some of the weirdest, jankiest hobo motorcycles you've ever seen in your life. But it's fun. It's fun. I keep saying, so I got a friend who's actually doing a bike build, and he has I think it's a '67 Triumph. And last year when we were there, it was just a rusty piece of crap, but everybody loved riding it. And this year he restored it, had a paint job put on it, redid the engine, redid the suspension, put a real seat on it, put almost real shocks on it, I think. And but it was still, I mean, it was a death trap. No brakes. There was no brakes. He had brakes until he got there, and he'd already wore them down just driving there. It's just that kind of motorcycle. But it's just a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. Yeah, Jerry, if you have the chance to get that Wolf Walker, get it. It's a fantastic tent. All right. So you got any questions for me? Anything you want to know about me you don't know?
I don't know what I could ask you that I don't know.
You can ask me anything.
Do
What's
you
my
have a
favorite color? What's my favorite motorcycle? What's my favorite Mexican food? How did I get into motorcycles?
Yeah. How did you get motorcycles?
Oh, funny you should ask. So, so when I was a kid, my dad had gone to. My dad was big into auctions and furniture and flea markets and stuff. And he went out to a flea market, and they had this old Suzuki motorcycle, the dirt bike up there. It was a Suzuki 90, and he wanted to get it for me. So we bought it. The engine was froze up. I got it home. I think I was probably 9 or 10. I got it home, and I was in a very mechanical family. My dad worked at the transmission shop. My stepfather worked as a millwright out in a lumber mill. So we knew how to do basic mechanics on everything. So I put kerosene or diesel down into the heads, let them sit overnight, unlocked the motor the next day with a breakover bar, and I rode the crap out of that motorcycle. And then I was hooked. From the first time I shifted from first into second, I was hooked. And that was it. And like I was talking to somebody last night, once you ride a dirt bike, it sets the pace. I was talking actually to Boba Fett last night. A dirt bike is the best way to learn because you learn all the ways on a light bike how to recover from skids, how to recover from wheelies, how to recover from fishtails. And from then on, man, it was just any bike I could ride, I'd ride. And I'd gone on to crotch rockets, back down to cruisers, back to super cruisers like the one I have now, the Super Tourer. And I love every bike. I'm not a brand snob. I'll ride anything, and I love everything.
Right.
We went to this charity yesterday, and the Harley dealer was trying to sell me on a road glide. I'm like, I already love road glides. Oh, we should buy one then. No, I just said I love them. I can't get one right now, but I love them. You don't have to convince me how good they are because I know it. It's a motorcycle. It's got 2 wheels and it's got a really nice seat. That's all it needs, and I can ride it
Right.
anywhere. But
Right.
that's just me. Yeah, he was kind of disappointed that I wasn't gonna buy it right then. But I'm like, yeah, I love the bike, but I'm just not gonna buy it. Thanks anyway. But
Right.
maybe in the
Was the
future.
picture good turnout?
It was a very good turnout, and I got to talk to the little girl. I got to make a little video of her afterwards. When I got home, I was still really inspired about it, so I made a short little video and I put it on YouTube and I put it on Instagram with her basically talking about what happened to her. And it was really sad because it's sad that a little girl has to learn these, really big words like trepanation and craniotomy, and but she talked about it and talked about what happened to her and the things she still has to go through. She's a very cute little girl, but it was a very good turnout. A lot of bikers there. A lot of groups were there together throwing. I don't know how much. She said they made a buttload of money for this raffle, and they auctioned off a bunch of really cool things. I'll have that in a video later that actually shows all the things that they gave away or
Cool.
that they raffled away. Basically gave away. I mean, these places that give this stuff up, just look at Forgotten Angels. They give this stuff up knowing they're never going to get their money back for it, but they really really don't care. They're just trying to get people to donate more money because it's worth
Yeah.
more as a raffle item than it is to the person who's donating it because
Yeah.
somebody's gonna make money off of it for a good reason. So, tis is what tit is. Yep. Aaron, who I talked about one of my videos, rode from 20-degree weather down to Florida with me, met me down in Georgia, and we rode in together. He says, as long as there's another winter, there will be another narcissicle. I think he plans to ride forever. He had the opportunity, I think, to drive in a truck this last time. It didn't work out. So he ended up having to ride all the way from Ohio down to Florida on a motorcycle with a very, very small windshield, as I remember it, on a 1200 Sportster.
Oh wow.
Robin's talking about going back to Texas and actually having good Mexican food. Robin, you're coming to Texas to the end of May now, right? I think that's what I saw earlier. So yeah, she'll be getting her Mexican food.
Too bad she's going to Texas in May and August. September they're gonna have that women's rally out there in Beaumont, Texas.
In Beaumont.
It's a cool rally.
That's where I'm actually from, the Beaumont area. So
Really.
very
They
cool.
move
Yep. And they just built a new Indian dealer there right in Orange.
Really?
They did. And every time I plan to stop, I don't. Right now, they're building a new freeway right next to the new Indian dealer. So it's a weird maze to try to get to the dealer. And last time I was like, okay, never mind. I gave up. So we didn't go. But yeah, by the time obviously when this thing rolls around, they'll probably have that all done, the overpass done, the bypass done, and you'll probably be easier to get to the Indian dealer. But it's huge though. It's two big buildings side by side.
Oh wow.
All right. We are going to, unless anybody has any questions out in the audience, we're going to go ahead and draw this to a close. So Miranda, thanks to you for coming. It's been a good time. We'll have to go out for Italian food again sometime.
Yes, yes.
I think last time we went, I think it was your son's birthday.
Yes.
But it was a very good time.
Well, I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. It's a good place to eat at.
Very cool. All right, everybody. Miranda, you've got your TikTok. You have an Instagram also, but what do you want to share on here? Where can people find you?
Mostly Facebook or TikTok.
Okay, and your TikTok is
Indian bike rider.
Indian bike rider?
No, it ain't. You got me all confused.
Indian biker chick. I'm glad I'm the only one that couldn't remember it. All right, guys. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Throw a comment down after we close it down the live stream, and subscribe if you haven't. So thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
If you want to hang around for a minute, I'll talk to you.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.